I do want to get into the ROG Ally or the ROG Xbox Ally and how big of a deal it was at Gamescom. It took over the conversation. Again, I'm going to hand the mic over to you, Umbra, and I'm going to get your thoughts. And of course, and then when you're done, hand the mic over to Jamie. But I do want you to kind of touch on some people trying to compare this beast of a console, handheld console, to the Portal, which I think is so. It not only it's egregious, but it's disingenuous because it doesn't play all of the games, and it already has 1,000 games you can play. So I want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I've seen the downplaying of the Xbox, the ROG Ally. Like this is so weird because well, as far as we're still trying to evolve past the console warring, but I know that's what a bit of it is. And it's not to say that everybody's going to be impressed by the thing, but it is obvious when the Xbox branding gets on the thing, suddenly people don't like it now. No, it's weird. It's a weird comparison to make. Like, oh, it's like the Portal. No, the Portal can only stream. You can only stream your games. I don't know if they updated it, by the way, but wasn't it formally that the Portal can only stream your games if your PlayStation 5 is on? Wasn't that the case? I don't think they've changed that, yeah. Right? I don't know if they've changed that or not, but I know that was the case before, where you can only play your games like you would stream it through it while it's on. And the Xbox is, the ROG Ally is different. You do get to play some of your games natively through it. If they're PC, obviously Play Anywhere, things of that nature. Also, they updated. Okay, thank you. Who was that said that? Big Keith. Thanks, Big Keith. Yes, they may have updated. I thought I may have heard that. I wasn't sure, but that's cool, by the way. And I've heard positive things about the Portal. I have no interest in it myself, but I have heard positive things about it as far as like how it, the ergonomics, things like that. And the ease of use for people. I just feel like this is obviously a bigger technological device, and you get to do so much more with it than you ever could with the Portal. It's night and day. I'm talking about anything from watching things on a Netflix or a YouTube to emulation of past consoles, and up to the PS3 and 360, like, and I wouldn't say, I don't even want to mention Nintendo. They might come after me. I don't. But anything up to that PS3 and 360 as far as emulation goes, you can even do, and that's just talking about other things you can do, and there's so much more. And then we go into the games themselves as far as Xbox, and how that Microsoft has thousands, I forget how many they said, thousands already curated to be, have the shaders compiled and have everything be as ease of use as it possibly can be for users getting in on this thing. I liked what they're doing with this. I just don't think there's any compare. It's a night and day situation from the Portal and the ROG Ally X or S, honestly. And yeah, there is a lot of good hype about it. There's a lot of, I've seen a lot of good, I've seen a lot of excitement, should I say, from some people really down to play it. I've seen somebody's updating me every day, like a countdown for, next day we have like 52 days left. I forgot who it was. I think it was I forgot. I don't want to say who it was, but yeah, there is clear excitement for it. I don't know in the end how much it will like sell through. That I couldn't tell you. I'm not sure. I mean, the sticker price might be a much for a bit for people. I think the S will be the higher ending selling SKU, if you will. But yeah, man, I have seen some of the weird comparisons, and I've seen people trying to downplay the ROG Ally for whatever reason it is. But no, it's a much better device, obviously, for so many different reasons compared to the Portal. And it's just a silly argument to make. I didn't even really entertain it when I saw it. I was like, whatever. I didn't think twice about it. So yeah, what's your thoughts on it, Jamie?
I think it's just weird how people seem so shocked by it. Like it's obviously in a ROG, but it's with Xbox branded, right? it's basically the same as the regular one, but Xbox has partnered with them, and that's sent people over the edge. Right? People are doing this comparison between the PlayStation Portal and that device. It's like they're two completely different things. Like one's a streaming device, one isn't. The Xbox ROG can stream, but that's not where its focus is at. And I think people tend to forget that, Xbox isn't just a console anymore. It's PC, right? They have the Xbox PC brand and they have PC Game Pass, right? They are wanting Xbox to be associated with PC as much as consoles. So like them having a portable PC handheld out there in the market where the portable PC handhelds that market's getting bigger by the day, right? So I don't understand why people seem so shook by it. If we already know this isn't the quote unquote native Xbox handheld we'll be getting in the future. This is meant to be a different device kit to a different audience. And look, if you play a lot of first party Xbox games, right, this is obviously going to suit you because first party Xbox games are on PC. And I think people are threatened by it and what it represents, because at the minute you're going to be able to buy one of those ROG Ally Xbox things and play Spider-Man on it, right? Play PlayStation games on it, basically do anything a PC can on it. And for some reason that's really disturbed people. I just don't get it. The fanboying and console warring on Twitter, it's getting overboard now, and I think it's just bleeding into everything. Let's take me for example, right? The ROG Ally Xbox device does not really cater to my needs, right? I play a lot of Xbox backwards compatible games. My 360 library, most of it is PC, right? So I can't play those games natively on that device, and sometimes I could have connection issues. So it's not an ideal device for me unless Microsoft want to send out a review console. Then I'd review it. But outside of that, it's not really for me, and that's completely fine. But it's clearly catering to an audience that exists, a growing audience, and for some reason people can't deal with that, right? I don't get it, and honestly, at the end of the day, it's just childish people being childish, right? It's a new kind of device in an ever-growing market which suits different people's needs, right? Look at the PlayStation handheld, right? That is essentially it's essentially an Android tablet with PlayStation controls stuck on the side, right? That you stream games with.
Yeah.
And that was completely fine at launch. People were okay with it. Because when it comes to streaming, that's okay when it comes to PlayStation. We've seen this attitude online. You have to own your games, you have to buy your games, you have to support physical. But these people will talk about the Portal all day long and act like it's the best thing since sliced bread. The truth is, it's just a different kind of device for people, and people will they'll act childish online. It's tiresome, but we have to deal with it.
Yeah, man, and that's the thing. And I agree with Paris in the chat. Paris, by the way, had some hands on with it. Paris, did you happen to get one? Did they give you one and to get you out of there? All right, take it. Go ahead. I would have been begging. I'm like, hey, well, can I get one of these? Shout out to Paris. He had a hands on with it out there. I agree with you, Paris. It's not for everybody, right? But there's definitely this fake outrage and this fake dislike going on, and you saw it immediately as soon as it was announced. It was like, oh, now I don't like the ROG now.
But I'm looking forward to it.
You brought me up too quick. I wasn't ready. No, I'm just looking at you're listening to your conversation about the Ally. But yeah, I mean, I had hands on at Gamescom, extended hands on versus what I did back in June. So I really not only did I get to use the Ally X, I got to use the Ally, which should be the Ally S. Everybody says it should be the S, but I got to see the differences between the two. I got to navigate through all the updated UI menus, see how that works. Got to flip it over to desktop mode, flip it back over into game mode. Got to play, I'm trying to think of all the games that I played on it. Played Gears of War Reloaded. I played Hollow Knight Silksong. I played Forza Horizon 5. I played Balatro. I played Doom the Dark Ages, Tony Hawk, Skater 3, and I'm forgetting something. But you get the gist. Got to play a different variety of games. And I'd even tweeted it out at one point. I'm actually pleasantly surprised with the Ally, the lower spec one. I think that is going to probably wind up being the more popular one because of the cheaper price, obviously. But I played Forza Horizon 5 on it, and it was just fine. There were no issues at all. Performance was good. We'll obviously have to wait until review time to, play things like Cyberpunk, things like that to see how they perform on the smaller one. Silksong was on the Ally as well. It played fine. Obviously, Balatro is not very performance intensive on it, but played Lies of P was the other one that I played. Played Lies of P, Expedition 33 as well. Playing Gears of War Reloaded on the Ally X was just fine. No issues with that at all. As I said back in June, again, just to confirm it again, now that I really had time to get hands-on with it, the grips make a huge difference as far as comfort goes, as far as long-term play sessions of comfort. It really just feel natural in the hands, almost like you're holding an Xbox controller, which clearly was intentional when they built this thing out. Another thing, I wasn't able to take pictures because of, it's not final, but I played Planet of Lana 2, and I got to play it on the LAX, which was cool.
Guy
also got to play High on Life 2, and that was they also had that on the handheld as well. I got a picture. I know I put a picture of that one online as well. But they're all in on it. I mean, the handheld was the main theme of the Xbox booth, as a lot of people would imagine. Asus had their booth as well. And public was able to get hands-on with that. But at the Asus booth, they had it locked down, so you couldn't navigate through the Windows UI and stuff like that. They only wanted you to specifically play games on it, which understandable because you might have some random person in the public try to purposely break something on there, right? So that made a lot of sense. But to the whole point of your conversation of what you're talking about, yeah, there's so much freaking fake outrage out there. It's just absolutely ridiculous that, number one, you ain't there. You haven't played it. You have no idea what you're talking about. So you're just being performative online just to get attention, I guess. But at the end of the day, these handhelds are not for everyone. As I even just tweeted it again the other day. This is a PC handheld. I'm glad that Xbox tweaked their messaging because in June, they made it seem more like it was an Xbox console that natively was playing everything, but it doesn't. And now you see it at Gamescom, they've clearly listened to feedback and they're being more specific about what it can play. Obviously anything from a PC digital store, it can play. PC Game Pass, it can play. Anything that is Xbox Play Anywhere, it can play. It can do all those natively. Anything that is not under one of those guidelines that you would play on your console, you can stream it from your console via remote play, which does not require Game Pass. Or obviously, if you do have Game Pass, you can do cloud streaming of certain games as well. So they just got to be more specific on that. And I may or may not have talked to a few people at Xbox and expressed that while I was at Gamescom. I gave the opinion, put out the driest, most boring tutorial video officially from Xbox to show how you use this handheld, how you navigate through the Windows UI, etc. It doesn't need to be marketing, no frills, make it just dry and boring. That way there's no excuse. You know exactly what it can do because they showed you what it can do. Obviously, when we review it and stuff like that, we'll do stuff like that as well. But the handheld's fine. It's not for everybody. If you don't need it, I think, Jamie, you were even just saying it's not for you, and that's fine. You know what I mean? Don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Play on your console, play on your PC, or however you play in your games currently. No one's forcing you to get this thing. It will be interesting to see ultimately what the pricing is, because clearly they've delayed the pricing announcement, even though we know it's coming on October 16th. So what I'd imagine, I don't know this officially, but I would imagine they're trying to get this thing as cheap as possible. Let me say this. And I don't necessarily think it's the X. I think it's the Ally because, again, that's going to be the cheaper one. I think if they could get that thing down to $499, that would be ideal. Because, like I said, ultimately, it's going to play everything just fine. I mean, like I said, I can't 100% say that, but that's my speculation. And then the X will be considered the enthusiast device, obviously, with the Extreme 2 AI chip that's in there, all the super scaling, just everything that's doing being able to all your shader cache, be able to load that up. That only the X can do that. The Ally cannot. So there's going to be differences between it, but I think as a basic gaming machine, the Ally is going to wind up being the more popular one. And then the X is going to be the extreme one, which is probably going to be pricey. We'll obviously see, but overall, yeah, good hands-on with it. Wish I had even more time with it. I would say total between Xbox and Asus and then a behind closed door thing I probably got to play total hour and a half worth of time with it at Gamescom. And it's fine. It's fine. I think people will be pleasantly surprised when they get their hands on it. I will say this, the X does feel more premium than the Ally or the S or whatever you want to call it.
Why do you feel that way? Or the premium?
Because it's just cheaper. That's why. But it's fine. You know what I'm saying? But it's no different if you have the current I'm being bad on names. I'm sorry. I'm a little under the weather. The current ROG Ally.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels just like that. Whereas the Ally X does feel a little more premium. Just does.
Well,
it's also $300 more. So I could see it feeling a little.
Yeah.
They got like metal in that joint. But I was going to say, that was interesting on the price part because we speculated on that. I forgot who I talked with about. And I said, it's interesting that they haven't officially announced the pricing. I think I spoke about it on my show this past week, and I was saying it's interesting they haven't officially dropped the price. We're seeing speculation of what it is, and obviously Best Buy with the 9,000, whatever, 999. Like, so we kind of got an idea, but we haven't seen it officially. So I said, I wonder if they're tweaking the price because they didn't announce it. They didn't announce it at not only at Gamescom but even at the summer show. They could have done it. So I was just wondering about that. So that's interesting. You said that. One question I was going to ask you, Paris, is and I know a lot of people have been complaining about this, or at least holding it as a begrudgingly to jumping in on one of these devices, is the whole Play Anywhere thing, which is dope as hell. It's one of the best things they have, right? And that being the kind of push they're trying to get move most games over that way, so you can play everything on your device, and that's their kind of workaround for your entire library, right? Like some people are saying, well, I want my entire library. And I saw it on your tweet too, that you were mentioning that, which was fair. Did you get a chance to speak with anybody at Xbox? I don't know, you probably can't say, but on how hard they're trying to work on getting our entire library, or at least most of it, available for us on the device?
I did not. Unfortunately, because I was very last minute to Gamescom. So there were certain appointments that I was not able to get. And I do know some Xbox reps were able to sit down with some other people, obviously, and be able to ask those questions. I was not officially able to ask those questions. So I am working to get that done here in the next few weeks. And then that will be one of the direct questions that I ask. Now, I will say, going back to June, I was asking that kind of stuff. And I know it was, kind of got some winks and nods. But I think the messaging that we saw now is the correct one, because you're not going to be able to do it today. Do I think there's a future where you're going to see more backwards compatibility on Windows and more of your console only games potentially make it onto Windows? Yes. But they're smart to not promise that until they know they can. You know what I mean? So
100%.
So their messaging was pretty clear now on how you can interact and play these games. So you can obviously leverage remote play and cloud streaming to then go back and play some of those. Like Jamie, again, you were talking about, you play a lot of 360 games. So any 360 game that is playable on your Series X, you can connect directly to your Series X and you can stream it and play it. Be it in your house, or if you feel frisky and got enough bandwidth, you can do that over the internet as well. So it is possible, Obviously, that's not the ideal way to play. You want to play natively, but they're not promising that right now. And that's what they should be doing. Don't promise something that potentially there's a meeting 6 months from now. Yeah, we're going to scrap that whole thing. We're not doing it. And now people are pissed off because you promised it. So I would rather them not say anything about that until they know 100% that they're doing it.
I agree with that 100%. One thing that I wanted to just throw it out there. Now, Jamie, I don't know if you had a question you want to ask Paris, so throw it out there. Boom. I was just going to say one of the things that's kind of slept on and nobody really speaks about is that fact that you don't have to hold this thing. You can always dock it to your TV, much like you would have.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And they have it where you get the port. So if you want to get an eGPU, you can plug that joint into this and put in a 5090, for instance, and have yourself a high-end PC. So I just want to throw that out there because people don't really speak on that. It's always just the handheld part, but you can do so much more with this. This is another reason why, of course, this is so much better than a Portal in this instance. But yeah, Jamie, did you have any question you wanted to throw out?
Paris basically, said what I wanted to know, but the whole 360 emulation thing, like they can't promise it right now. It's understandable, but if it's something they can do in the future, I mean, obviously, I think it's something that they will try and do. I think that would make it way more compelling to me because, like, I've played a lot of Forza Horizon via streaming, and it goes so pixelated, like it's almost hard to see sometimes. So like streaming for me isn't necessarily like the best thing I can do. But if at some point they can make, a PC device run Xbox 360 and Xbox One series games, whatever that stuff, that'd be perfect. Obviously, that's going to take time, but I think it's something they'll be working towards. Yeah,
and again, some of the conversation that I had, because a few months ago I was on campus, got to talk to some people. And again, this is just my speculation. No one has officially said this. Don't be clipping this shit and putting it out there that I said it, because I'm not. What I'm saying is, my speculation is just kind of reading the tea leaves is that is in the plans. I do think that. I truly believe that. I truly believe they are trying to make Windows that, you can play all your games on that. And that way, everything goes more towards PC. It makes development better because you're only making a game one time for PC versus trying to make a console and that, blah, 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 blah. But here's the easiest way to think of this. Moving forward, all the games will have that. We already know that coming first party from Xbox. Every first party Xbox game from Xbox Game Studios, Bethesda, and Activision will be play anywhere and will be playable on a Windows device. We know that. Some third party will, some won't. Obviously, there's licensing, negotiations, all those things. The back catalog, and obviously that's important to you, Jamie, they're not promising that. And I don't think they should until they know. And that's just how you got it. That's just how you got to look at it. So this is, again, where I see a lot of the fake outrage by this, because Jamie, let's just be real. You are the minority. Most people are not going back into their back catalog. They're just playing new stuff, right? When you think of it that way, the handheld's going to play all your new stuff. You already know what currently is playable, and everything moving forward will be playable on that. That's fine. For most people, for the vast majority, that's going to be fine. So when I see people that, and I'm trying to be generous here, pretend to be so upset about this, they're just doing it for engagement and attention, ultimately. Because, again, you've not used the device. So how the frick do you know? Bottom line,
their intuition tells them.
Yeah. So, but like I said, I like it. I think it's dope. I think I need more time, obviously, but just in my limited time, I've been impressed with the device, both variants of it. So we'll see in October when it comes out. And you also have to realize these aren't going to be huge sellers, because even the handhelds on the market today aren't huge sellers, but it's just another option for us, for people that want to take advantage of it. I'm one of them. Me currently, and I've said this directly to people at Xbox, to be clear, I prefer the Steam Deck. I prefer Steam OS. The UI is better. Even right now, I think what they've done to the Windows UI now, it's good enough, but it's still not the best. If you were to ask me which one would you prefer, I'm still going to prefer SteamOS today. they've made it pretty clear they're going to continue to iterate on this thing and continue to make updates and changes. Like the Fox even put out a video because, again, he was able to ask more direct questions than I was, talking about some of the things that you wish Windows had currently from a UI standpoint when it's in game mode, but they still aren't able to do. You will still have to go to the desktop to install updates, things like that. You still will have to go to the desktop to install other third-party apps, things like that. They want to get to a future where you don't have to do that. But from a pure gaming standpoint, you never have to leave the Xbox, what are they calling it? The Xbox full experience mode or whatever the hell it's called, right?
Right.
You don't have to leave that to play your games. But if you want to tinker, you will have to flip over to desktop on that. Okay. And even Steam Deck, somewhat that's the case, but 90% of the time, you never have to leave the Steam UI to do anything on the Steam Deck. So there's still work to do. It's a good opening, I would say 1.0 of this strategy, but it will continue to iterate and get better over time, in my opinion.
Dope. I would ask, how fluid was you for you at least? Was it switching from like PC mode to the Xbox UX and things like that? Was it real fluid and
what do you mean from PC? What do you mean?
Moving from desktop, I guess desktop mode to the Xbox interface UX.
Oh, it's easy. It's pretty easy, and I'm still going through all my footage, so I know I have it on video somewhere, but I'm pretty sure Tom Warren put a video out on social media showing you that exact thing. It's pretty easy. That Xbox button, if you hold it down, you're able to flip back and forth. You're able to press on that. You'll see desktop mode. Boop, flip it back into full screen mode. It's easy. It's not hard at all.
Yeah. Was it really fluid for you? Like switching?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, there's no issue. No issue at all.
Nice. Yeah, because I know some people obviously anybody would complain if it's not handled right in that department. Man, I'm trying to think of any other specific question. I've never played the Steam Deck. I've only ever had the Z1 ROG Ally, so I had to get used to that, and so this would be a no-brainer for me. But seeing how they implemented the UX here with Xbox, that you can go straight into it like big picture mode off Steam, I think that's just smart. And how they're basically having their own Steam Deck verified version of games. I think that's just really smooth. I think that's the smartest thing they could have done.
Yeah, and they talked about that in June that they were going to do that. So for them to be able to now show that they're at the point now that is Gears of War, is the embargo up on Gears of War Reloaded? Yeah, I think it is, right? Okay, I ain't gonna get in trouble for saying this. So even Gears of War Reloaded, when we got all the review stuff for that, it showed that Gears of War Reloaded, it showed everything that it was handheld verified for Steam Deck, for the Ally, all of that. So they've already been doing that work on there. So like when the Ally X comes out, I guess if you get the current Ally, you don't even need the Xbox One. It is already verified for the ROG Ally, the current one, whether you get the base model or the Ally X. So they're already doing that work on that, which is good because that's what you need to do, because that's what Steam does. So I need you for right now. They need to just simply emulate everything that Steam is doing and then see what they can improve upon. Because the thing that I try to explain to people is, while I prefer Steam OS, the advantage Windows will always have over Linux is anti-cheat. So anything that you want to play with anti-cheat, you're going to need to play it on a Windows device. Not to mention, Windows also has the advantage, which clearly Xbox is leaning into. I can pull games in from multiple digital stores, be it Epic, GOG, Steam, the Xbox One, the ColecoVision one, if they ever put that out, whatever. You can do that on Windows, whereas you can't do that on Steam OS unless you want to tinker and sideload and do all this other crazy stuff. So, I mean, like I said, I think it's solid. I think this is a good first step. It's not going to be perfect. I think people need to let me explain this. Get ready on October 16th. It's not going to be perfect. You will see people purposely show you all the quirks and the things that don't 100% work correctly. That will happen.
Yeah.
Makes me think of Starfield when somebody was running out all the way to the end.
Oh, God.
Oh, see, there you can't go everywhere.
Well, you can't land. You land on the gas giant.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yes, that's it.
You know, I was in space with him after that. He was really trying to argue it. I'm like, dude, you just